So Rock Minerals is an Australian listed company on the ASX. We're a minerals company explorer and developer with two projects. So the two projects that White Rock has, one is a gold and silver project in northern New South Wales, and our second project is a zinc project in Alaska in the USA. White Rock's project in Alaska, we acquired that about 18 months ago. It covers 140 square kilometres of ground. It's in central southern Alaska, just south of Fairbanks, which is Alaska's second largest city. And it's a project that has two deposits already that contain zinc, silver, lead, gold and copper. When White Rock acquired the Red Mountain project 18 months ago, it had been held by a private unlisted company. So for over 10 years there had been no work done on that project. And so when we acquired it, it hadn't had any modern exploration, and modern exploration techniques have advanced significantly. So there's a great opportunity to apply modern knowledge to something that's already had deposits found on it. And the nature of these deposits is that they do come in camps, in clusters. So we're quietly confident that not only do we already know that we have two deposits, but the likelihood of finding more, and that's what we're looking to do this year. So the two deposits that sit within the Red Mountain project, one is called West Tundra Flats and the other one is called Dry Creek. They're about a bit over a kilometre apart from each other, and they sit within this 143 square kilometres of land that we have. The Red Mountain project is what we call in the industry a VMS project, and VMS stands for volcanogenic massive sulfides. So it's essentially formed millions and millions of years ago on the seabed, and minerals were deposited underwater, and that's why we've got a wonderful collection of minerals, the zinc, the silver, the lead, the copper and the gold. When the previous owners did the drilling and we gave those results to a consultant, they determined that there was something like 16 million tonnes of minerals there at a grade of around 9% zinc equivalent, and that caused us a lot of surprise as well. The Red Mountain project is an exploration project, so we're not mining. Our job is to increase the size of the known deposits, the 16 million tonnes number that I mentioned, and the key minerals within those deposits are zinc and silver. Now zinc is one of the best performing metals of the last 12 to 18 months, so we believe we've got a great project with great resources already discovered, but the potential to find more in a metal that is performing really well currently. So having acquired the Alaskan project 18 months ago, we did the JORC resource with the consultants in Perth. We also expanded our footprint to the 143 square kilometres. We got the public domain information and gave that to experts, and that identified 30 similar exploration targets to the two known deposits. So our plan in 2018 is to get on the ground in April, May, drill to expand the two known deposits, but also to go and explore the other 30 similar targets, and that over the next 6 months from about May, June through to probably September, October. So Alaska is well ranked and well respected as a mining jurisdiction. It's got a great history. There's an institute called the Fraser Institute that looks at jurisdictions around the world, and Alaska's rated in the top 15, in fact higher than or equal in the same group as Western Australia. So very progressive, first world jurisdiction, follows the rule of law, and I think from an investor point of view, sovereign risk is a very important matter that people should consider, and so having a project in the USA I think is as good as you're going to get, along with Australia and a few other jurisdictions and Canada, in terms of risk of your security. So when you have a project and you're looking to advance it, you clearly want to make sure that there's a demand for what you're doing, and zinc is certainly at 10-year highs, and there aren't many zinc projects around the world, certainly of the nature of our Red Mountain project in terms of grade and prospectivity. Red Mountain is a great acquisition by White Rock. It's got a lot of untapped potential, so our strategy is to get on the ground this year and to unlock some of that value by adding to the 2 known resources, discovering more, and then at the end of this calendar year assessing exactly what we've got in terms of our next steps forward. So the Red Mountain project is an advanced exploration project, so we already have a JORC compliant resource that states a tonnage and a grade, and that gives us a sense of the in-ground value. We know that we need to make that larger, and at some point it will be large enough to then do the studies, to do the mining, the metallurgy, the recovery, the sales, the construction and the operating. So it's at the early stages. So our other project, Mount Carrington in northern New South Wales, White Rock's had that project since 2010, and it's a gold and silver project. It's about 2 hours inland from Byron Bay on mining lease with previous mining and previous infrastructure. So it's a well advanced project, certainly when you compare it to Red Mountain. We've already done scoping studies and a feasibility study for Mount Carrington, and we're now looking at the next steps to take that project forward. The 2 aspects for 2018 are to look at the silver component of that study. We've got the gold understood. There's a bit more work to do on the silver, and in parallel there is environmental baseline studies that we'll continue and need to continue to do. So when White Rock acquired the Mount Carrington project, it had previous mining, and the previous operators had prepared the 2 gold pits that I mentioned that we actually walk onto gold-bearing ore. They also left behind a tailings dam infrastructure, a cleared plant site, and so that infrastructure on mining lease, on state forest, so it's already a disturbed environment, it's not pristine farmland. That infrastructure left by the previous owners has been independently valued at about $20 million. So that's $20 million that White Rock doesn't have to spend when it comes time to build the mine. The pre-feasibility study for Mount Carrington, one of the outputs from that is its financial viability. And the gold first stage shows that there's an initial start mine life of between 4 and 5 years before we add more gold or add more silver. It will produce about 150,000 ounces of gold during that time. The plant will cost about $35 million to build, but in return we'll get over $35 million in free cash coming back to the company over that initial 4 to 5 year period. One of the key things that we've been doing in parallel with the pre-feasibility study was some baseline environmental studies. So ecology, so looking at flora and fauna, so trees, wildlife, birds, bats, frogs. Water monitoring, water management will be very, very important for us and for people downstream from the mine. We already have ready a social engagement strategy, because bringing the communities along with us and understanding what we're about and what we're endeavouring to do, and the interaction with the communities will be critical. So we've done a lot of work, we hope, to, when we're ready, to engage and explain what the project is about and the benefits and the activities that we'll be conducting on site. So Mount Carrington is rather unusual. It's precious metals, which I think is a great opportunity for an investor to have in their portfolio. So it's gold and silver. Mount Carrington is a little bit unusual. The silver is not a byproduct. We could mine silver or gold, or both at the same time. We have JORC compliant resources of over 300,000 ounces, which is about 10 tonnes of gold, and about 23 million ounces of silver, which is about 700 tonnes of silver. The wonderful challenge with White Rock is that we have 2 great 100% owned projects in Alaska and the other one in New South Wales. Red Mountain is a great acquisition by White Rock. It's got a lot of untapped potential. So our strategy is to get on the ground this year and to unlock some of that value by adding to the 2 known resources, discovering more, and then at the end of this calendar year assessing exactly what we've got in terms of our next steps forward.